Hello and welcome to Flute of the Loop. My name is Leanna and this is the Altus Azumi AZ1. This is a entry-level intermediate model flute. It has a handmade Z-cut Altus head joint which has a silver lip plate and silver riser. The head joint itself is silver plated, so is the body and the keys. So let's see what it sounds like. Okay, so right off the bat, it has a very quick response. I don't really have to push that hard to get a really nice rich tone right off the bat. So let's try a chromatic scale and see what that sounds like. Okay, so we have a variety of tone colors throughout the range of the instrument. I think that its natural inclination is to be very rich and dark throughout its lower and mid register ranges, and then it kind of lightens up as we head towards the top. So let's see how that sounds on a melodic excerpt. So we're going to do just a little bit of the Carmen Etude by Bizet. Okay, the middle range sounds really, really lovely. I am curious if I should take out the plugs on this flute. Sometimes I leave the plugs in while I'm testing them out, but I think I'm getting a little bit of interference from the plugs, which does happen every once in a while. So I just have to be a little bit careful. Let's see what the high range sounds like without that. Way better already. Okay, so I should have taken the plugs out earlier on this flute because it made a huge difference in the high range. So let me pull out that chromatic scale one more time. Oh yeah, so already so much more even up in the high range. So goes to show you that sometimes the plugs are your friend, but sometimes the plugs need to be taken out. And in this case, the plugs were not where I needed them to be, so it was just a little bit easier with the plugs out. If you're wondering why you might want to have plugs in your flute, well, maybe you're someone who's not used to having open hold keys before, so you might want to keep those plugs in. For someone like me who's been playing on an open hold flute for a long time, it tends to be easier for me to have the plugs out. So all that being said, let's try something a little bit more virtuosic, in which I might wish I had the plugs in. So we're gonna do the Mendelssohn Midsummer's Night's Dream. Let's see how it goes. Okay, great. So the mouth articulation response is really, really fast. This handmade head joint is definitely pulling its weight because it is really, really, really quick to respond, so I'm not waiting for the flute to catch up with me. The keys I'm getting used to, and it is at a slightly different weight and distance than the keys of my flute, so it does take a little bit more thought when I'm doing these really fast passages. But the articulation of the head joint is really, really nice. So the fingers you can definitely get used to. I am just used to my own instrument, so it would take me a little bit of time to get used to these keys. So to put it all together, let's go ahead and play a little bit of Daphnis and Chloe by Ravel so that we can have a little melodic, a little virtuosic, and playing around with tone color. Then we can try that again. The F sharps on this flute is in a very different place than my personal flute, and so I'm really having to adjust on these high passages. So let's try that one more time. Okay, so the lighter, paler colors really sing very beautifully with this flute. It pushed a little bit into the darker range, especially in that sort of mid-low register in a way that I liked. And the high register, I think for me personally, would need a lot more effort to get those to sing in the way that I want them to. But again, that's all a matter of personal preference and adjustment. So that is definitely something that you can get used to. It's just not something that I'm used to on this instrument. But for what it is, this is an incredible intermediate entry-level flute. It speaks so beautifully, and so it's definitely something that if you are looking for something in that mid-range, this could be the flute for you. So if you want to try out the Azumi AZ1, let me say that one more time, Altus Azumi AZ1, it's a long name, you can go ahead and contact the sponsor of today's video. A huge thank you to FluteWorks Seattle for sponsoring this video. So go ahead and give them a call or an email to set up your trial appointment, and I will see you in the next video.